Alrighty, so this review is a little bit late because yesterday I did went to a friend's house and I didn't get home until around midnight, so that's why I wasn't able to do the review for both of these games. But one thing I will say is that I did watch both of these games in its full, though this one I kind of tuned out a little bit in the second half because this game got ugly between the Seattle Sounders versus the Vancouver Whitecaps, and I'm kind of surprised that it got ugly and it got one-sided because coming into this game, the Whitecaps were riding that Vanni Sartini wave and that they were definitely in a very good form. And even though I know the Whitecaps do not have a good record against the Sounders when they play at Lumens Field, you would think that they would put much more fight in this one, and that was not the case. I mean, the Sounders were pretty much by far the better team in this one, and it kind of helped the fact that they got the early goal in this one because in the third minute, after Cropper was able to deny Montero from close range, he did give up a rebound, which Montero was able to get to it, but Cropper had to bring Montero down if Montero doesn't want to prevent him to go around the keeper. But because of him bring Montero down in the box, it conceded the penalty for the Sounders, which Ladero was able to put it away to give the Sounders a 1-0 lead. And early on, it was just one-way traffic in this game. Like, the Sounders had all the possession. I thought this could be a long night for the Whitecaps, which turns out it was the case. Fry then denied Caicedo as the flag went up, so even if Caicedo scored, that one wouldn't have counted. Though I thought Vancouver did kind of start to get into this game, so I said that this was a one-way traffic kind of game. Well, it was until maybe the latter part of the first half where the Whitecaps really started to kind of gain some momentum, but that was all killed in the 28th minute when Rui Diaz would score from Madrona and Rowe to give the Sounder a 2-0 lead. By the way, I was kind of surprised that Rui Diaz played in this one because it's only a couple of days since he was part of the Peru national team in that loss against Australia, and he definitely took it personally in terms of that loss because he went full Raul Ruidiaz mode in this one, full angry Raul Ruidiaz mode with the way that he was a man on a mission to trying to at least put out all the anger and all the vengeance after seeing his national team miss out on the World Cup in that loss against Australia. Now, in the 32nd minute, Gall did look to get one back, but missed wide from 22 yards out. The Whitecaps did start to press to get one back and actually provide some sustained pressure and not allow the Sounders to get out of their own half. But the problem is, they weren't creating a lot of chances. And if you're the Sounders, they'll take it with the way that if they're up 2-0, they might ride out a little bit of pressure that the Whitecaps had, but as long as they're not giving any opportunity and that Stefan Fry doesn't have to make any save, it doesn't really matter. So yeah, the Sounders were up 2-0 heading into halftime. Though heading into the second half, I think whatever Brian Schmitz told his guys that maybe they shouldn't just sit back for the entire part of the game and just keep giving the Whitecaps some chances to get one back because, the old saying goes, 2-0 is always the most dangerous lead. You need to get that third goal, and it seems like those Sounders players kind of got that message because in the second half, they once again came out of the half strong. They almost made it 3-0 when Ladero shook the post on a curler from 24 yards out. And I know we don't technically have a goal of the week vote for these games that's happening during the international break, but if that went in, that would have definitely been the goal of the week. But the Sounders did make it 3-0, and it's Rui Diaz again scoring from Chu and Rowe to make it 3-0 in favor of the Sounders. By the way, did I mention the fact that this game was also taking place around the same time when the U.S. were playing against El Salvador? So again, I tried my best in terms of watching this one while paying attention to the game between the U.S. versus El Salvador, and that I did talk about in that other game that it kind of helped the fact that game was a little bit slow, and it turns out to be a mud fest that it really kind of got into a point where I was actually watching this game a little bit more than when I was watching the El Salvador versus U.S. game. But after this third goal was scored, my attention was pretty much back to the game between the U.S. and El Salvador because I knew this game was pretty much over. The Sounders are not going to blow a 3-0 lead at home. Madrona then fired one over the bar. As I mentioned, this game looks like it was done. Rui Diaz then went through on goal and actually round Cropper, but is denied of his hat trick and was also denied of becoming the Sounders' all-time goal scored here from a goal line clearance for Veselinovic. So Rui Diaz is pretty close in terms of reaching reaching that milestone, but he's going to have to wait at least for another game. Madrona then puts it wide from close range before Caicedo fires it high from close range. Alexandro then puts it high from long range in the 70th minute. The phone actually kind of rang on the Sounder TV feed, and I think that pretty much fooled everybody that was still watching this one. That is my phone actually ringing, because I hear my phone has that ringtone, but yeah, it seems like it comes from the Sounders TV feed. Now, obviously, nobody picked up in terms of it, because I think someone realized that, oh shoot, my phone is ringing. This is not a good look. But at the same time, if that is the case, I would say that they should just press the deny button or the decline button there, because let it just kind of ring the whole way. It kind of just, again, it fooled everybody thinking that their phone was ringing, and that this is also a classic example of why you shouldn't have your phone on when you're doing a broadcast, or when you have your phone basically on when you're working, because if you have that kind of situation, yeah, it's not really a very professional look. Though, besides that kind of interesting situation, the Sounders, again, I thought they started to take their foot off the gas a little bit, but they still look very defensively structured in this one, and really limiting any good chances that the Whitecaps were having. I mean, the Whitecaps did start to gain more possession in the latter part of the game, but it was a similar story to what we saw in the end of the first half. They just could not quite break down this very good Sounders defense. And then in the 89th minute, it would be 4-0 in favor of the Sounders, as Alex Rodon would add his name into the list of goal scorer in this one from Leyva to make it 4-0 in favor of the Sounders. Though, this is a goal that, yeah, Cropper should have saved it. And you can clearly see that I think Cropper probably have checked out in this one, because this is one that was near the near post. It wasn't really hit with a lot of power, and when you're a goalkeeper in that situation, you have to save that. Like, that's should be a save 9 time out of 10, and that, I think, the only saving grace for Cody Cropper is that at least he allowed a soft one right when his team is pretty much out of, compared to, let's say, if this team was still tied at 0-0 heading into this game and he allowed a soft one like that, and that would have been really frustrating to do. But nevertheless, the Sounder would win 4-0 in favor of the Whitecaps, just complete domination. And the shots in this one, 16 shots compared to 10 that the Whitecaps had, 8 shots on goal compared to none that the Whitecaps had. Both teams had 7 shots off target, 1 shot that was blocked compared to 3 that the Whitecaps had, and possession-wise, 56% possession compared to 44% possession that the Whitecaps has in this game. And again, I was kind of surprised the fact that how one-sided this game was, but at the same time, this is the Seattle Sounders, and again, this is a team that is going with the most predictable second half resurgence that we ever seen, and that they are definitely charging up the standings right now in the Western Conference. And the Whitecaps, this was definitely a low reality check, in that that momentum that they had in the last couple of games, it definitely come to a screeching halt after this one. But now moving on into the other game that happened in the midweek action of the last 2 games that is going on during the international break, is a game that is much more even between New England versus Orlando City. And that, yeah, this game, as I mentioned, it was very even, and I think at the end of the day, a 1-1 draw was a pretty fair result, with how both teams had some chances in this game, and that both teams at times weren't able to put away their chances, and therefore at the end of the game, the game ended in a 1-1 draw. In the first half, Galese did deny ball from a tight angle. Again, just like Rui Diaz, I was a little bit surprised that Galese was starting in this one, but I guess, it's been a couple of days since the Peruvian national team lost in that World Cup qualifier playoff game against Australia. So I guess maybe these players are ready to play in these games, and not to mention he is a goalkeeper. So I think any goalkeeper, even if you're on international duty, just like a couple of days ago, you should be freshening up to start for your team in just a couple of days, or even on a short notice. But I thought early on the Rams were on the front foot and was pressing for an early lead. Galese denied Bo, who tried to stab it in from 8 yards out. Petrovic then denied Pato, as that was, I thought, Orlando's first big opportunity, and I thought both teams started to find some success on on the break in this one. I mean, every time when each of these teams wants to go on the attack, they really rely a lot on the transition, which also kind of provides a very entertaining game because whenever you see both team likes to hit on the break, it does provide a very entertaining kind of matchup where both teams are just going left and right in terms of the attack. But it would be New England, the one that gets the opening goal, and it's Carlos Hill that scored from Bo and Captoon to give the Revs a 1-0 lead. By the way, I think I wrote the minute mark wrong in this because this actually didn't happen right after when Petrovic was able to deny Pato from close range. I mean, it did kind of happen in a couple of minutes later, but I know for sure it didn't happen in the 21st. Or I think this is the moment that it didn't happen in the 21st because I think the goal was scored in the 21st minute. But nevertheless, as I said, the Revs were up 1-0, though on the other end, Orlando was looking to respond, and Pereira was looking to do that on the free kick, but that one goes straight to Petrovic. Bo then fired one just wide from 20 yards out before Urso puts it way wide from long range. But then 4 minutes later, Orlando ties the game up, and it's Janssen, the ones that ties the game up for Orlando, and this did not come off of a header. I mean, usually when you think of defender that score a goal, and especially from Robin Janssen, you would think that it comes from a header. No, it didn't. This one was just well, originally there was a shout for a handball for Orlando, and usually when that happens, you would think that maybe you know with the players kind of stop playing, maybe New England decided to just kind of take the ball away and clear their lines while their opposition was still complaining about handball. But no, that's not how it is. In fact, the refs, I don't know if they kind of got caught in the moment and just kind of got distracted by the fact that Orlando was shouting for a penalty, because next thing you know, Janssen was going through well, he wasn't really going for on goal, but he was taking on defender and basically rifled that one, pretty much put five-hole that one into the back of the net. And that not only was not great defending from the Revs, but that was actually a spectacular goal with the way that you don't usually see center backs able to strike it that cleanly like that. But nevertheless, Orlando tied the game up at 1 apiece, and that would be the score heading into the second half. And in the second half, Torres tried to give Orlando the lead as he struck a low shot that goes straight to Petrovic. Bo then had a free header that was actually blocked by his own teammate, and I think it was Altidore, the one that blocked this one. And I'm pretty sure Altidore is going to make sure that he does not want to show that footage again to Gustavo Bo, because I think that one actually was going to go in, and Altidore basically got in the way of it. I mean, unfortunately, it was kind of accidental, and I think Gustavo Bo probably would knows it. But anytime when you had a shot that was on target and it's blocked by your own teammate, that is kind of a little bit annoying at times. But I thought both teams looked lively early and was pressing for a go-ahead goal, which kind of was the story of this game, because there wasn't really one stretch of this game. I mean, besides maybe early on when the Revs kind of dominate, the rest of the game, there was some good moments for both of these teams, and it feels like there wasn't really like the momentum seems to be kind of switching back and forth as this game would go along. There was a huge shout for a penalty for Orlando as they thought that Bell handballed that one in the box, and this one actually they could have the case, because it definitely looked like Bell might have actually handballed that one with his arm kind of outstretched a little bit. But then there's also the question, is that did that actually happen inside the box? Because on a second look, I thought maybe that should have been called a handball, but at the same time, it definitely looked like that one was just outside the box. But nevertheless, they didn't go to VAR to look at this. I thought Orlando was looking like slightly the better side, but can they produce a better final ball, which has been a problem for this team. Like this team throughout this season, besides the inconsistency that they have been having trouble in the attack, especially producing that final ball. By then heads it just wide from the corner in the 63rd minute, as New England was looking to trying to get the go ahead go. In fact, they started to put some waves of sustained pressure on Orlando. Bai had another opportunity in the 78th minute, but he heads it wide from close range. And then Petrovic on the other end had to deny Smith, who hit it hard on the volley. I thought Petrovic, another good game in this one. It's safe to say that, based on the small sample size that we've seen from Georgi Petrovic for New England, he's been a decent goalkeeper. I mean, I wouldn't say he is going to be similar to what Matt Turner is to this team, because again, it is still just a very small sample size, but there are some things that Petrovic has done in this game that kind of makes me think that, you know, I don't think New England should miss Matt Turner that much, because it seems like he's actually had a very decent shot stopper. But you know, obviously, I'm not going to go as far to say that, yeah, New England is definitely not going to miss Matt Turner, and that Petrovic is a perfect fit, because it's going to take a lot for Georgi Petrovic to really build his reputation that, yeah, he's going to be just as good as Matt Turner, and at least early on, he has kind of shown that characteristic in these early couple of games that he's been with New England. But I also thought that the 3 points were up for grabs for both teams, because, you know, it was very even. But ultimately, it did end in a 1-1 draw between both of these teams. And the shots in this one, 13 shots compared to 9 that New England has. 3 shots on goal compared to 5 that Orlando has. 2 shots off target compared to 5 that New England has. 1 shot I was blocked compared to 6 that Orlando has. And possession-wise, 53% possession compared to 47% possession that Orlando has. And, you know, for New England, yes, getting four points in the last 2 games without Adam Buksa and Matt Turner is not a bad kind of ways to finish these two games, where, you know, that's going to be also something that they're going to have to get used to for the rest of the season. But at the same time, they did draw points at home, and anytime when you draw points at home, and especially they had an opportunity to go above the red line, and in fact go as high as 5th place in the Eastern Conference, they would feel very frustrated, and they would feel like this is a missed opportunity for them to get themselves back above the playoff line. But yeah, either way, hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, make sure you guys do like, smash the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of both of these games. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and that we are back in terms of the full slate MLS action in terms of this weekend, where we're going to have 14 games that's going to happen. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys do like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.